In this video, we'll learn about the expression there is or there are in English. We use the expression there is or there are to indicate that something exists somewhere. For example, there is a book on the table. Here, we are trying to say that we see a book on the table. There are vegetables in the basket. Here, once again, we are trying to say that we see vegetables in the basket. Now, on this slide, we'll learn the grammatical difference between there is and there are. In other words, we'll learn when we can use there is and when we can use there are in a sentence. So we use there is when the noun that comes after this expression is either a singular noun or an uncountable noun. However, if the noun that comes after this expression is a plural noun, then we use there are. Let's look at it in a few examples. There is a bird on the branch. Here, as you can see, we say there is because the noun is in the singular form, a bird, one bird. There are two birds on the branch. As you can see here, we say there are because here the noun is in the plural form, two birds. There is a plate on the table. Here, once again, we say there is because the noun is in the singular form. There are a lot of plates on the table. Here I would say there are because we are talking about many plates. It's a plural noun. There is one person in the room. Here, once again, we say there is because the noun is in the singular form. There are a lot of people in the room. Here we say there are because people is a plural noun. There is water in the glass. Here we say there is because water is an uncountable noun. That's why it's always singular. There are two glasses of water. Here, however, we say there are because we are saying two glasses of water, and glass is a countable noun. Now, having already learned the main grammatical difference between the expressions there is and there are, on this slide as well as on the next slide, I'll share a few things that you need to keep in mind when making sentences with this expression. The first thing you need to keep in mind is related to the sentence structure. As you may already have observed, the sentences with this expression start with there first, and after there we add either is or are depending on the noun that comes after this expression. At times, we may also need to add an adjective in between there is or there are and the noun. Now, whether you have the adjective or not will not make any difference in determining the form of this expression there is or there are, because there is or there are will always be determined by the noun that comes after it. Let's look at it in a few examples. There is a car in the yard. In this sentence, we have a noun, car, that comes right after the expression there is. And we say there is because the noun is in the singular form. There is a red car in the yard. In this sentence, however, we have an adjective, red, that comes between the noun and the expression there is. And it makes no difference in determining the expression there is. There are red cars in the yard. In this sentence, once again, we have an adjective that comes between the noun and the expression there are. In this sentence, you will see that we say there are because our noun is in the plural form, cars, and the adjective played no role in determining the form of this expression. Another example, there are tools in the box. In this sentence, once again, we have a noun that comes right after the expression there are, and we say there are because the noun is in the plural form. There are a lot of tools in the box. Here, we have an adjective, a lot of, that comes between the noun and the expression there are. And it's for the purpose of showing the quantity of the noun. As you will see, here we say there are because the noun is in the plural form. And this article a should not confuse you because it is a part of this expression a lot of, which means many, and it does not play any role in determining the form of this expression there are. There is a tool in the box. In this sentence, however, we have a noun that comes right after the expression there is, and it will say there is because, as you will see, the noun is in the singular form. A tool, one tool. That's why we say there is. There is flour in the pot. In this sentence, we have once again a noun that comes right after the expression there is, and we say there is because flour is an uncountable and singular noun. There is some flour in the pot. Here, once again, we have an adjective that shows the quantity of the noun, and we still say there is because flour is singular and uncountable noun. So some plays no role in determining the expression there is. There is a lot of flour in the pot. Once again, we have an adjective that comes in between the noun and the expression there is, and it plays no role in determining the expression there is because we still have a noun that's uncountable and singular. There are people in the park. Here, we have a noun that comes right after the expression there are, and we say there are because people is a plural noun. There are few people in the park. Here, we have an adjective that shows the quantity of the people. And as you'll see, still we say there are despite the article a because our noun is in the plural form. And a few is one expression that shows the quantity, and it plays no role in determining this expression there are. There are young people in the park. Once again, we have an adjective that comes between the noun and the expression there are, and it plays no role in determining the form of this expression there are, because we still have a noun that's in the plural form. There is news. So we have a noun that comes after the expression there is, and we say there is because news is an uncountable singular noun. There is good news. Here we have an adjective between the noun and the expression there is, and it plays no role in determining the expression there is because we still have the noun that's singular and uncountable. There is a lot of good news. Here we have two adjectives between the noun and the expression there is, and they play no role in determining the expression there is because still have a noun that is uncountable and singular. Alright, another thing that you need to keep in mind when you are making a sentence with the expression there is or there are is the possibility of multiple nouns in the same sentence. As such, if you have more than one noun in a sentence, then you need to keep in mind that to be that comes after there will be determined by the first noun only, and the nouns that come after it will play no role in determining the expression there is or there are. Let's look at it in a few examples. There is one plate and two bowls on the table. Here we have two nouns, plate and bowls, right? And we'll say there is because our first noun is in the singular form, and the second noun plays no role in determining the expression there is. There are two bowls and one plate on the table. Here we have the same two nouns in one sentence. Here, however, we say there are because our first noun is in the plural form, and the second noun plays no role in determining the expression there are. There is one girl and one boy in our team. Here we have two nouns, girl and boy, in the same sentence. We say there is because our first noun is in the singular form, and the second noun plays no role in determining the expression there is. There are two girls and one boy in our team. In this sentence, however, we say there are because our first noun is in the plural form, and the second noun plays no role in determining the expression there are. The next thing that you need to pay attention to is the plural only nouns. As you may already know, in English there are some nouns that are always used in the plural form. And when you have such a noun, then to be that comes after there will always be are. For example, There are glasses on the table. Here, even though you may talk about only one pair of glasses, you still say are because glasses is plural only noun. There are trousers in the suitcase. Here, once again we say are because trousers is always used in the plural form. It's also possible for you to say there is a pair of trousers in the suitcase. Here you say is because you have used the expression a pair of. Lastly, you also need to pay attention to no nouns. So if you have a noun that's preceded by the expression or the word no in a sentence, then to be that comes after there will always be is. For example, there is no sugar left in the can. There is no time to work. Now on the slide, we'll learn how to make question sentences when we have the expression there is and there are. As you may already have observed, in affirmative sentences, is or are comes right after there. However, in interrogative sentences, we have to bring is or are right before there. Let's look at it in a few examples. There is a lady at the door. Is there a lady at the door? There are 2 suitcases in the car. Are there 2 suitcases in the car? There are many students in our class. Are there many students in our class? There is water spilled on the table. Is there water spilled on the table? There is a table and 4 chairs in the room. Is there a table and 4 chairs in the room? To make sentences that start with the expression there is or there are, negative, all we need to do is to add not right after is or are in the sentence. Let's look at it in a few examples. There is a lady at the door. There is not a lady at the door. To make it shorter, you can also say there isn't a lady at the door. There are 2 suitcases in the car. There are not 2 suitcases in the car, or there aren't 2 suitcases in the car. There are many students in our class. There are not many students in our class, or there aren't many students in our class. There is water spilled on the table. There is not water spilled on the table. There isn't water spilled on the table. There is a table and 4 chairs in the room. There is not a table and 4 chairs in the room. Or, to make it shorter, there isn't a table and 4 chairs in the room. Quiz time. For quiz 1, I would like you to fill in the blank spaces with the expression there is or there are. You have 30 seconds to prepare your answers. After 30 seconds, I'll show the correct answers so that you can cross-check. All right, time is up. Now let's see the correct answers for quiz 1. There is not a TV in the living room. There are scissors in the cabinet. There is no water in the kettle. There is a lot of work to be done. There is a pair of sunglasses in the purse. There is no internet at the moment. There are a few ladies sitting in the cafe. There are so many shoes at the door. There is a bike in the yard. There are a lot of sheep in their farm. For quiz 2, I would like you to use the sentences you see on the screen, both in interrogative and negative forms. You have 30 seconds to prepare your answers. After 30 seconds, I'll show the correct answers so that you can cross-check. Alright, time is up. Now let's see the correct answers for quiz 2. There are kids in the park. Are there kids in the park? There are not kids in the park. There is a cat under the stairs. Is there a cat under the stairs? There is not a cat under the stairs. There is milk left in the fridge. Is there milk left in the fridge? There isn't milk left in the fridge. There are some mistakes in your assignment. Are there any mistakes in your assignment? There are not any mistakes in your assignment. There is loud music in the house. Is there loud music in the house? There is not loud music in the house. There are geese on the lake. Are there geese on the lake? There aren't geese on the lake. There are stars in the sky. Are there stars in the sky? There are not stars in the sky. There is luggage in the car. Is there luggage in the car? There is not luggage in the car. There is hot water in the house. Is there hot water in the house? There is not hot water in the house. There are nice restaurants on that street. Are there nice restaurants on that street? There are not nice restaurants on that street. Finally, to practice more, you can use the nouns given on the screen in sentences starting with the expression there is or there are. Please feel free to write your sentences in the comment section below. I'll try to check them for you whenever I can. Thanks for watching. Talk to you in the next video.